You felt it before. That pull towards something greater. Not loud, not flashy. Silent, heavy, certain. This is the moment everything changes for you. Not because the world shifts, but because you do. You're done chasing approval. Done explaining yourself. Done waiting to be chosen. Power doesn't announce itself. It builds in silence. Breathe. Listen closely. You are about to step onto a path few are strong enough to walk. A path that reshapes how you think, how you move, how you lead. No applause. No shortcuts. Only truth. Stand still. Feel it. This is where your old self ends and your real power begins. I am ready. Chapter 1. The Power of Silence. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. You have lived long enough reacting, explaining yourself, defending your choices, proving your worth to people who never had the authority to judge you. That phase ends here. Breathe. Slowly. There is power in what you withhold. There is strength in what you do not say. The world trains you to speak quickly, justify instantly, respond emotionally. But power moves differently. It waits. When you stop rushing to answer, something shifts inside you. Your heartbeat steadies. Your thoughts sharpen. You begin to see clearly. Silence creates space, and space creates dominance. Stand still. Notice how often you feel the urge to react, to correct, to impress, to explain your intentions. That urge is your old self, the version of you that needed validation, the version that confused noise with strength, the version that gave away control by talking too much. You are not here to attack that version. You are here to outgrow it. Silence is the first boundary you ever set, not with others, with yourself. When you choose silence, you choose awareness over impulse. You choose observation over reaction. You choose patience over performance. Watch how people reveal themselves when you do not interrupt. Watch how situations unfold when you do not rush to watch how clarity appears when you let moments breathe. Silence is where truth speaks. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will search for words. Your body will want to fill the gap. That tension is normal. Stay with it. This is the beginning of discipline. Power does not announce itself. It gathers. Think of the deepest water, calm on the surface, unmoving, yet holding immense force beneath. That is the kind of power you are learning now. You are no longer available for meaningless reactions. You are no longer leaking energy through unnecessary explanations. Your silence is not confusion. It is intention. Learn to pause before you respond. Learn to listen without planning your reply. Learn to observe without needing to be seen. Every pause strengthens you. Every moment of restraint builds authority. You begin to notice something important. People talk more when you talk less. They reveal motives. They expose insecurities. They show you who they are. And you remain centered. This is not manipulation. This is mastery. The old version of you spoke to be accepted. The new version listens to understand. There is a quiet confidence forming now. Not loud, not aggressive, stable. You start to feel it in your posture, in your breathing, in the way you enter a room. You do not need to announce yourself. Your presence does that for you. Silence removes the need to perform. You are no longer on display. You are in command. Build the tension now. Notice how often silence gives you leverage. In conversations, in decisions, in moments of pressure. When others rush, you pause. When others panic, you observe. When others speak emotionally, you remain steady. That steadiness is rare, and rarity creates value. You are learning to lead yourself first. Stand still. This is where the conflict begins. You versus your old self. The old self wants comfort, immediate relief, fast responses. The new self wants strength, precision, control. Every time you choose silence, the new self wins. It will feel like you are holding back. In truth, you are holding power. Command this moment. Do not rush your words. Do not explain your path. Do not seek approval. Let silence work for you. Feel the relief that follows restraint. Notice how calm replaces anxiety, how clarity replaces noise. This is not suppression. This is selection. You speak when it matters. You act when it counts. And when you do speak, your words land heavier because they are rare, because they are deliberate, because they come from certainty. You are becoming someone who does not need to convince, someone who does not chase agreement, someone who trusts their own direction. Empower this shift. Silence is your training ground, your preparation space, your foundation. Here you sharpen awareness. Here you strengthen discipline. Here you reclaim energy that was wasted on proving yourself. Repeat is cycle. Calm yourself. Build awareness. Command restraint. Feel relief. Rise empowered. Again and again. Silence teaches patience. Patience builds authority. Authority creates leadership. You are not withdrawing from the world. You are preparing to engage it on your terms. The strongest move is often the one no one sees. Stand still. Watch. Learn. You are not behind. You are not late. You are early in your transformation. This quiet is not empty. It is full of potential. Say it now internally without force, without noise. I rise. And as you rise, something else fades. The need to react, the need to prove, the need to explain. You step forward quietly, and the world begins to feel your presence. This is only the beginning. Chapter 2, Walking Alone Without Fear. There comes a moment when the noise falls away, not because the world becomes quiet, but because you stop depending on it. You feel it first as distance, fewer voices, less reassurance, more space between you and what once felt familiar. This is not loss. This is separation. Walking alone does not mean you are abandoned. It means you are being refined. Breathe slowly. Solitude has a reputation it does not deserve. It is painted as empty, as isolation, as something to avoid. But solitude is where leaders are formed. Away from applause, away from opinion, away from distraction. You are here now. Picture yourself walking at night. An empty road stretching forward. No signs telling you where to go. No crowd to follow. Only the sound of your own steps. At first it feels uncomfortable. Your senses sharpen. Your thoughts grow louder. You notice how much you relied on others to confirm your direction. That dependence is shedding. Most people never allow themselves to be alone long enough to hear their own truth. They fill every silence. They surround themselves with voices, so they never have to face their own. You are different. Walking alone forces honesty. There is no one to impress, no one to perform for, no one to blame, just you and the road. This is where fear tries to speak. It asks questions. What if you are wrong? What if they don't understand you? What if you end up alone? Listen calmly. Being misunderstood is not failure. It is often evidence that you are ahead of your time. You were never meant to be fully understood by everyone. Leadership does not grow from consensus. It grows from conviction. As the road stretches on, you begin to feel the weight of responsibility. Every decision is yours. Every step counts. This pressure is real, and it is purposeful. Comfort falls away first, then certainty, then illusion. What remains is resolve. You don't need the crowd. You need clarity. Clarity only comes when the noise is gone. Notice how your posture changes as you walk. Your shoulders square. Your pace steadies. Your breathing deepens. You are no longer rushing to match anyone else's speed. You set your own. This is the tension point, where most turn back. The road feels long, the destination unclear. The temptation to return to what is familiar grows stronger. Stand here for a moment. Feel the pull of comfort behind you and the quiet challenge ahead. This is the test. Your old self wants approval, wants reassurance, wants to be told it's okay. Your new self wants truth. Command this moment. Move forward. No approval. No delay. Each step forward strengthens your spine. Not physically, internally. You begin to trust your judgment, not because it is perfect, but because it is yours. Solitude teaches you to rely on principles instead of praise, on values instead of validation. The night walk continues. Empty roads have a way of revealing direction. Without distractions, you notice subtle signs. A shift in the ground, a change in the air, an inner pull you can't explain. That pull is instinct. It has been quiet for a long time. Now it speaks. You start to understand something important. The fear of being misunderstood kept you small, kept you explaining, kept you shrinking your vision so others would feel comfortable. That ends now. Leadership begins the moment you stop shrinking. You do not owe everyone access to your journey. You do not need permission to grow. As you walk, your thoughts become sharper. Decisions become simpler. Yes or no, forward or stop. This simplicity is power. There is relief in not carrying everyone else's expectations. Relief in not needing to convince. Your energy returns to you. Feel it. This is what happens when you stop leaking yourself into places you've outgrown. Empower this solitude. Use it to listen, to plan, to strengthen. Walking alone does not make you cold. It makes you clear. The road is still quiet, but you are no longer uneasy. You trust your steps now. Fear loses its grip when you keep moving. Again, move forward. No approval, no delay. With each step, your identity solidifies. You are not wandering. You are choosing. This is how leaders are shaped. Not in crowds, not in comfort, but in moments where they stand alone and do not retreat. You are becoming someone who can hold their ground, even when no one is watching. Say it now firmly without doubt. I decide who I become. Let that decision settle into you. The road ahead remains unseen, but your stride is steady. Your mind is clear. Your resolve is quiet and unbreakable. You keep walking, and somewhere ahead, the path begins to open. Chapter 3. Discipline over desire. Desire is loud. It speaks in urgency. It demands now. Discipline is quiet. It waits. It endures. Most lives are ruled by desire. Impulse deciding direction. Emotion choosing timing. Comfort shaping identity. You are here to change that. Breathe. Slow down. Discipline is not punishment. It is alignment. When your actions match your intentions, power is born. Desire feels strong, but it fades quickly. It rises with emotion and falls with difficulty. Discipline remains when emotion disappears. This is where the rhythm tightens. You begin to notice how often you act based on feeling. When energy is high, you move. When energy drops, you hesitate. That pattern ends here. No motivation, only commitment. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Commitment stays. Discipline is the decision you make once and honor daily. You are not forcing yourself. You are defining yourself. There is a moment when desire whispers. It says rest instead of work, comfort instead of growth, now instead of later. That voice is familiar. It is not evil. It is temporary. Discipline answers calmly. Not now. Stay focused. This is not denial. This is direction. Delayed gratification is not sacrifice. It is strategy. You choose what matters most over what feels good now. Again and again. Each time you do, something shifts internally. You begin to trust yourself. Promises kept to yourself build a quiet confidence, not excitement, certainty. You no longer need hype to move. You move because you decided. Stand steady. The tension builds here. Desire wants relief. Discipline wants results. Desire wants comfort. Discipline wants growth. You feel the pull between them. This is the conflict that shapes identity. Your old self negotiated with discomfort, made excuses, adjusted standards. Your new self does not negotiate. Command this moment. Do the work. No debate. No delay. Discipline simplifies life. Decisions become fewer. Action becomes automatic. You no longer ask how you feel. You ask what needs to be done. And you do it. This is how winners are built before anyone notices. Imagine waking up and knowing exactly who you are. Not based on mood. Not based on circumstances. Based on standards. That is freedom. Desire reacts to the environment. Discipline creates it. You begin to see how desire drains energy. How chasing comfort creates exhaustion. How inconsistency creates doubt. Discipline restores energy. It removes mental friction. It clears confusion. You stop starting over. The rhythm sharpens. Shorter thoughts, cleaner focus, stronger resolve. You don't wait to feel ready. You act ready. Every disciplined action is a vote for the person you are becoming. You may not see results yet. That does not matter. Results are delayed. Identity is immediate. You are becoming the person who wins before winning appears. That is the secret most never learn. They chase outcomes. You build character. There will be days when desire is strong, when shortcuts look tempting, when quitting feels reasonable. Those days define you. Stand tall. Discipline is not dramatic. It is repetitive. It is ordinary. It is unglamorous. And it works. You don't announce discipline. You live it. You don't talk about commitment. You demonstrate it. Others may not understand your consistency. That is fine. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be effective. Relief follows commitment. When you remove internal debate, peace appears. When decisions are already made, pressure decreases. You are no longer pulled in 10 directions. You move in one. Forward. Empower this pattern. Small actions done daily outweigh intense efforts done occasionally. Discipline compounds. Each completed task strengthens the next. Each kept promise makes the next easy. Momentum builds quietly. You feel it now. A calm strength, a grounded confidence. You don't need motivation speeches. You have structure. You don't need external pressure. You have standards. Repeat the rhythm. Calm your mind. Build focus. Command action. Feel relief. Rise empowered. Again, desire fades quickly. Discipline lasts. Desire wants recognition. Discipline wants results. You choose what endures. Imagine who you become when you stop breaking promises to yourself. When your word means something to you. When your actions align daily. That version of you is unstoppable. You are no longer hoping for change. You are practicing it. This chapter is not about intensity. It is about consistency. Not doing more. Doing what matters. Every day. Stand firm. The path ahead will demand more from you. But now you are ready. You have chosen discipline. And discipline chooses you back. You move forward quietly. Strong. Prepared. The results are coming. But more importantly, you are already becoming. Chapter 4. The Inner Throne. Sit upright. Not out of tension. Out of intention. Let your spine rise. Let your shoulders settle. Let your breath slow. You are here now. There is a place inside you that has always been waiting. Quiet. Unshaken. Observing. This is the inner throne. For a long time, your mind ruled you. Thoughts came without permission. Emotions dictated direction. Reactions felt automatic. That was never weakness. It was simply untrained power. Today that changes. Breathe in. Hold briefly. Release. Your mind is not your enemy. It is your instrument. And every instrument requires a steady hand. Mental leadership begins with awareness. Not judgment. Not force. Awareness. Notice your thoughts as they appear. Not as commands. As signals. A thought arises. It speaks loudly. It demands attention. You pause. You choose. This pause is everything. Most people live inside their thoughts without distance. They believe every fear. They follow every impulse. They surrender authority without noticing. You are reclaiming it now. Thoughts are suggestions, not orders. Say that internally. Let it settle. Thoughts are suggestions, not orders. When you recognize this, space opens. When space opens, choice appears. You begin to feel the shift. The mind slows when it is observed. Chaos fades when it is named. Sit with this calm. Emotional mastery does not mean emotion disappears. It means emotion no longer controls the feelings rise. You acknowledge them, and you remain steady. This is leadership. Inside your mind, there is a seat of authority. For too long it was empty, occupied by fear, by doubt, by habit. You are taking that seat now. Imagine placing a crown, not on your head but on your awareness. Not to dominate, to govern. Your thoughts line up differently when they know someone is watching. You notice patterns, old loops, automatic responses. The mind repeats what it has rehearsed. You interrupt the cycle, not with aggression, with clarity. Command this moment. Slow down the inner voice. Lower the volume. You do not need to fight thoughts. You need to lead them. The old way was reaction. The new way is response. Reaction is instant and emotional. Response is calm and deliberate. Response is power. There will be moments when emotion surges. Pressure, uncertainty, intensity. These moments are not threats. They are invitations. Invitations to practice control. When emotion rises, you return to posture, to breath, to presence. Sit upright. Breathe. Notice how your body listens when you do this. The nervous system settles. The mind follows. Relief begins here. Mental leadership is not about perfection. It is about consistency. You will notice thoughts that once controlled you now pass by. You do not chase them. You do not suppress them. You let them move. This is freedom. Your inner world becomes quieter, not empty, ordered. With order comes clarity. You see decisions more clearly. You respond instead of react. You choose long-term direction over short-term emotion. This is mastery. The tension builds when the mind resists control. It will test you. It will bring up old narratives, old fears, old doubts. Stand firm. These are echoes, not reality. Command your attention. Return it to the present, to the breath, to the body. Each time you do, you strengthen authority. You are not silencing yourself. You are refining yourself. Your thoughts become tools. Your emotions become information. You remain steady. This steadiness creates confidence, not loud confidence, grounded confidence. You trust yourself more when your mind is calm. You make better decisions when emotion is not leading. This is the inner throne at work. Imagine facing pressure with this composure. Imagine responding to challenge without panic. Imagine holding your ground without raising your voice. That is leadership. Others feel it, even if they cannot explain it. Your presence changes when your mind is governed. You stop leaking energy through worry. You stop exhausting yourself through overthinking. You conserve power. Command again. Choose focus. Choose clarity. Choose calm authority. Feel the relief that follows control. Notice the lightness in your chest, the steadiness in your breathing. You are no longer scattered. You are centered. Repeat the rhythm. Calm your breath. Build awareness. Command your thoughts. Feel relief. Rise empowered. Again, this is not a one-time event. This is a practice, a daily return to the throne. Every time you choose presence, you strengthen it. Every time you respond, instead of react, you reinforce it. You are becoming mentally unshakable. Challenges will still appear. Pressure will still rise. But now you meet them differently. You do not collapse inward. You do not rush outward. You remain steady. Say it now, quietly, firmly. I am steady. Let that affirmation anchor inside you. This steadiness will carry you forward, into harder decisions, into greater responsibility. Your mind is no longer a battlefield. It is a command center, and you are seated at its center. The noise fades. Clarity remains. You are ready for what comes next. Chapter 5. The Invisible Work. There is a phase of growth no one celebrates. No recognition, no feedback, no visible reward. This is the invisible work. It is where effort disappears into silence, where progress hides beneath the surface, where most people begin to question themselves. You are here now. Breathe. This chapter is not exciting. It is essential. You have already learned to be quiet, to walk alone, to choose discipline over desire, to sit on the inner throne of your mind. Now comes the part that tests everything, doing the work when no one is watching. Most people are motivated by visibility. They work harder when praised. They stay consistent when acknowledged. They push forward when results are immediate. You are learning a different way, the invisible way. Power does not grow above ground first. It grows underneath. Think of roots pushing through dark soil. No light, no applause, no proof they are winning. Still growing, still expanding, still preparing for something unseen. This is your work now, day by day. Quiet effort reshapes identity, not all at once, not dramatically, but permanently. At first, this phase feels slow. You question if anything is happening. You wonder if the effort matters. It does. Every repetition strengthens structure. Every unseen choice builds resilience. This is where separation happens. Most quit here, not because they are weak, but because they expect confirmation too soon. They want signs. They want validation. They want reassurance that their effort is noticed. But invisible work offers none of that. Only integrity. Stand still for a moment. Notice the urge to rush results, the desire to be seen, the temptation to announce progress. That urge is natural, and this is where mastery begins. You learn to move without witnesses, to improve without recognition, to stay committed without external reward. This is maturity. Power grows quietly. You wake up and do what needs to be done. You show up without excitement. You repeat the same actions without praise. Still moving, there is a calm strength forming now, not fueled by emotion, fueled by consistency. You are no longer chasing moments. You are building momentum. The invisible work teaches patience, not passive waiting, active endurance. You endure boredom. You endure doubt. You endure silence. And through that endurance, you sharpen. Roots grow deeper before branches rise. You cannot rush this phase, and you cannot skip it. Those who try collapse later. You are building something that lasts. This is the tension point. Effort without evidence. Progress without proof. The mind looks for shortcuts. The ego looks for acknowledgement. Stay steady. Command this moment. Keep going. No applause. No announcement. Just work. There is power in knowing you are improving, even when nothing looks different. There is confidence in trusting the process without needing reassurance. You begin to respect yourself more here, not because others see your effort, but because you do. This self-respect is quiet, but it is unbreakable. The invisible work teaches you to detach from outcomes and attach to standard. You show up because that is who you are now, not because someone is watching, not because something exciting is promised, because commitment has become identity. Day by day, you start to notice subtle shifts. Your reactions change, your focus deepens, your tolerance for distraction drops. Others may not see it yet. You do. This is the advantage. While others chase motivation, you build structure. While others seek shortcuts, you strengthen foundation. Power accumulates silently, like pressure behind a wall. You do not need to rush the release. Time will handle that. There are days when the work feels heavy, repetitive, uninspiring. Those days matter most, because they train reliability. Anyone can perform when inspired. Few can perform when bored. You are becoming one of the few. This is leadership training. Leadership is not built in moments of recognition. It is built in seasons of responsibility without reward. You are learning to carry weight without complaint. That is strength. Roots growing underground do not ask if they are strong enough. They grow because that is their function. You grow because that is yours. The invisible work strips away ego. It removes the need to be seen. It purifies intention. You do the work because it matters, not because it looks good. This creates clarity. Your actions align with value. Your effort becomes honest. Your progress becomes stable, still moving, even when tired, even when unsure, even when unseen. This phase builds trust in yourself. You learn that you can rely on your discipline without excitement, that you can keep promises without reward, that you can endure silence without losing direction. This is rare, and rarity creates power. There is relief in letting go of the need for acknowledgement, relief in not performing for others, relief in knowing your work is enough. You stop comparing. You stop measuring yourself against visible success. You measure yourself against consistent. Did I show up? Did I do the work? Did I stay aligned? If yes, the day counts. This mindset changes everything. Progress becomes inevitable. The invisible work compounds. One day becomes a week becomes a month becomes a foundation. Others will only notice the outcome. They will never see the nights you stayed disciplined, the mornings you showed up tired, the choices you made quietly. That is fine. You did not build this for applause. You built this for strength. Command again. Keep going. Let patience harden into resilience. Let repetition carve discipline into muscle memory. You are becoming someone who cannot be shaken by lack of recognition. This is the kind of power that does not fade, because it was earned slowly, day by day. You may not feel different every day, but you are different. Each unseen effort is shaping your future reaction, your future confidence, your future leadership. Invisible work creates visible impact later, but you do not rush the reveal. You trust the roots. Say it internally. Still moving. Feel that commitment settle. There will come a moment when results appear suddenly, when growth becomes visible, when others notice change. They will call it luck. They will call it talent. They will call it sudden success. You will know the truth. It was built quietly. You stayed when others quit. You worked when others waited. You grew when no one clapped. This chapter is where separation happened, and you chose to stay. Power grows quietly, and you are right on schedule. Chapter 6. Identity before results. There is a moment when waiting becomes a habit. Not waiting for the right time, waiting to feel ready. You tell yourself soon, after more preparation, after more confidence, after more proof. That moment has passed. Readiness is not something you feel. It is something you decide. You are not here to hope anymore. You are here to expect. Breathe. Identity always comes before results. Always. The world teaches the opposite. It says earn first, then become. Achieve first, then believe. Prove first, then claim. That model keeps people stuck. You are stepping into a different order. You decide who you are now, and your actions follow. This is the lock-in moment. Up until now, you have been building foundations. Silence, solitude, discipline, mental command, invisible work. All of it leads here. Identity, not a label, not a title, a standard. Identity is how you behave when no one is correcting you. Identity is how you move when nothing is guaranteed. Identity is what you default to under pressure. You stop asking, "Am I ready?" You start saying, "This is who I am." Language becomes firm here. Internal dialogue sharpens. You no longer say, "I'll try." You say, "I do." Trying leaves room for retreat. Deciding removes escape routes. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. You choose your identity before circumstances confirm it. That is leadership. Most people wait for permission from results. They wait for confidence to arrive. They wait for certainty to appear. Confidence follows action. Certainty follows consistency. You act first. This is where many hesitate, because choosing identity feels risky. What if results don't come fast enough? What if doubt returns? Stay steady. Identity is not proven in one day. It is reinforced daily. You are not pretending to be someone else. You are committing to who you already are becoming. Command this moment. Decide. Decide how you move. Decide how you respond. Decide what you tolerate. From this point forward, your actions answer one question: what would the person I am becoming do? And then you do that. No negotiation. This removes confusion. This removes inconsistency. This removes hesitation. You don't wake up asking how you feel. You wake up knowing how you act. Feelings adjust later. This is how winners are built before winning is visible. Expectation replaces hope. Hope waits. Expectation prepares. Hope wonders if it will work. Expectation assumes responsibility. You expect results because you expect yourself to show up. That expectation changes posture, changes tone, changes pace. You stop explaining your ambition. You stop downplaying your direction. You stop shrinking your language. Your inner voice becomes clear and direct. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is the standard. Non-negotiable. The old self checked motivation first, checked comfort first, checked approval first. The new self checks identity. Does this align with who I am now? If yes, you move. If no, you don't. Simple. This simplicity is powerful. Identity removes decision fatigue. It removes internal debate. It removes the cycle of starting and stopping. You no longer restart your life every Monday. You live it daily. His is the tension phase. Old habits will test this identity. Old thoughts will question it. Old patterns will try to pull you back. That is expected. Stand firm. Identity is strengthened through resistance. Every time you act in alignment despite discomfort, identity hardens. Every time you choose standards over impulses, identity deepens. You don't need to feel confident to act confidently. Confidence is built through repetition. Results lag behind identity. Always. That delay is not failure. It is proof that you are building something real. You begin to carry yourself differently. Not loudly, not aggressively, solidly. You don't rush validation. You don't chase reassurance. You expect progress because you are consistent. Relief follows commitment. When identity is clear, anxiety decreases. When standards are set, doubt fades. You are no longer guessing who you are. You decided. Empower this decision. Speak to yourself with authority, not harshness. Authority. You don't motivate yourself. You direct yourself. Stand up. Focus. Move. These are not suggestions. They are instructions, and you follow them. This is self-leadership. You are becoming someone who can be trusted by others eventually, but first by yourself. Trust grows when actions match words, when discipline matches intention, when identity matches behavior. You begin to respect yourself at a deeper level, not because you feel good, because you are reliable. That reliability is rare, and rare qualities create impact. You stop waiting for clarity from the outside. You generate it internally. You expect yourself to do the work. You expect yourself to stay composed. You expect yourself to rise under pressure. And because you expect it, you prepare for it. This preparation is quiet, intentional, consistent. No hype, no fantasy, just execution. The identity shift locks in when you stop negotiating future. You don't say, "One day I will." You say, "This is what I do now." That language matters. Words shape behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. You are choosing words that lead. There will be moments when results are slow, when progress feels distant, when effort feels heavy. Identity holds you steady. You don't quit because quitting is not who you are. You don't collapse because collapsing is not aligned. This is not rigidity. This is resolve. Flexible in method, firm in standard. You adapt strategy. You do not abandon identity. This is maturity. This is leadership. You are no longer asking life for permission. You are showing up prepared. Say it now, internally with conviction. I become the person who wins, not someday. Now, let that statement settle. Winning is not a trophy. It is a pattern of decisions, a pattern of discipline, a pattern of expectation. You are stepping into that pattern. Others may not notice yet. That does not matter. Identity is internal before it is visible. The outside will catch up. For now, you stay aligned. You move forward without hesitation, without hoping, without waiting. You expect more from yourself, and you meet that expectation. This is where momentum changes, because from this point on, you are no longer becoming. You are being, and being creates results. Quietly, inevitably, you move forward grounded, firm, and decided. What comes next will demand this identity, and you are ready. Chapter 7. Pressure is privilege. Pressure arrives without warning. It tightens your chest, sharpens your breath, tests your balance. Most people see pressure as a signal to retreat, a sign they have gone too far, a reason to slow down. You see it differently now. Pressure is not punishment. Pressure is confirmation. Breathe. Pressure only appears when you are carrying something meaningful. Nothing important is weightless. Nothing valuable is easy to hold. If there is pressure, there is progress. This chapter changes how you interpret resistance. The old response was tension and doubt. Why is this so hard? Why does it feel heavy? Why isn't this easier by now? That response ends here. Difficulty is not a signal to stop. It is a signal to stabilize. Pressure sharpens you. Think of steel under heat. Without pressure, it stays soft. Without resistance, it remains fragile. Strength requires stress. You are not being crushed. You are being forged. Stand steady. Every challenge you face now exists because you are no longer small. Small goals do not create pressure. Small lives do not demand resilience. You chose more. Pressure is the evidence. The intensity rises here. Short thoughts, clear focus, direct action. Keep going. Don't stop. Hold the weight. Notice how your body responds under pressure. Muscles engage. Attention narrows. Distractions fall away. Pressure forces presence. You are no longer scattered. You are here. This is where many quit. Not because they cannot continue, but because they misinterpret the feeling. They think pressure means something is wrong. They think resistance means misalignment. Often it means the opposite. Resistance confirms direction. When you move toward growth, friction appears. When you push boundaries, the world pushes back. That pushback is not rejection. It is response. Life responds to seriousness with difficulty. You asked for more responsibility, more impact, more leadership. This is the cost, and you are capable of paying it. Pressure exposes what you rely on. If you rely on motivation, you falter. If you rely on approval, you hesitate. If you rely on comfort, you collapse. You are relying on something else now. Discipline, identity, clarity. Pressure reveals that foundation. Stay with it. Your breathing steadies when you stop resisting the weight. Your posture strengthens when you stop wishing it were lighter. You don't ask pressure to leave. You adapt to carry it. This is growth. There is a moment when pressure turns from threat into training, when struggle becomes signal. You feel it now. The challenge in front of you is not random. It is specific to your next level. Life does not test what you have not trained for. You have been preparing, silently, consistently, patiently. Now comes application. Keep going. Don't stop. Hold the weight. Pressure strips away pretense. There is no room for distraction, no space for indecision. You act. You respond. You stay focused. This intensity is not chaos. It is clarity. Your mind becomes sharp. Your priorities reorder. What matters stands out. What doesn't fades. This is the privilege. Pressure forces you into your strongest self. Without pressure, potential remains theoretical. With pressure, it becomes real. You are learning how you move under load, how you think when stressed, how you decide when comfort is unavailable. These moments define leadership. Anyone can speak confidently when stakes are low. Few remain composed when weight increases. You are becoming one of the few. There will be moments when the pressure feels relentless, when rest seems distant, when the load feels uneven. Acknowledge it, then adjust. You do not panic. You do not rush. You tighten your form. This is discipline under pressure. Short commands matter here. Focus, breathe, move. Again, pressure does not ask for permission. It arrives when you commit. You can either resent it or use it. You choose use. Every challenge strengthens your capacity. Every obstacle increases tolerance. Every setback trains recovery. Pressure is not linear. It comes in waves. You ride them. There is a quiet confidence forming in you now. Not from ease, from endurance. You know you can handle discomfort without losing direction. That knowledge is powerful. It cannot be taken away. Others may see struggle and assume weakness. You see struggle and recognize training. Your language changes. Instead of "this is too much," you think "this is heavy and I am capable." Instead of "why is this happening," you think "what is this building?" This reframing changes everything. Pressure becomes privilege because it means you are trusted with weight. Life does not load pressure onto those who avoid responsibility. You stepped forward, now you carry. Stand firm. Keep going. Don't stop. Hold the weight. Notice how resilience grows invisibly, how tolerance increases quietly, how confidence deepens without noise. You no longer need reassurance during pressure. You rely on process. You have been here before. Not this exact moment, but this intensity. You survived it. You learned. You adapted. This time you are stronger. Pressure also reveals boundaries. What you will tolerate, what you will protect, what you will prioritize. Under pressure, you stop wasting energy. You choose efficiency. You choose clarity. This is leadership behavior. When others react emotionally, you respond deliberately. When others complain, you adjust. When others quit, you continue. Not recklessly, responsibly. Pressure does not mean reckless persistence. It means intelligent endurance. You listen to your body. You manage your energy. You stay aware, but you do not retreat. There is a fine line between quitting and recalibrating. You know the difference now. Quitting abandons identity. Recalibrating protects it. You recalibrate when needed. You never abandon who you are becoming. Pressure tests this commitment. It asks, do you really mean it? Do you really want responsibility? Do you really want growth? Your answer is not spoken. It is shown. You stay. This is the moment where inner strength becomes visible to you, not to others, to you. You realize you can sit with discomfort without panic. You can hold complexity without collapsing. You can face uncertainty without freezing. This is mastery. Pressure sharpens decision-making. You stop overthinking. You stop delaying. You decide. Action under pressure builds trust in yourself. That trust compounds. Keep going. Don't stop. Hold the weight. Praise. Sure is also temporary, not because it disappears quickly, but because you adapt. What feels heavy today becomes manageable tomorrow. Your capacity expands. You do not wait for pressure to end to feel confident. Confidence grows within it. This changes how you approach challenges. You no longer dread difficulty. You prepare for it. Preparation replaces fear. You understand now. Ease does not create strength. Resistance does. Comfort does not build leadership. Responsibility does. Pressure is proof that you are carrying something meaningful. You are not overwhelmed. You are under construction. This realization brings relief, not because the pressure lifts, but because it makes sense. You stop taking it personally. You stop questioning your worth. Pressure is not judgment. It is training. You are built for this. Say it internally. You are built for this. Let that settle into your posture, into your breath, into your resolve. Pressure will not disappear as you grow. It will change shape. Greater responsibility brings different weight. You are preparing now. Each moment you endure strengthens the next. This is cumulative. You are not starting over each time. You are stacking resilience. Others may never see the weight you carry. That does not matter. You feel it, and you handle it. This is where self-respect deepens. You trust yourself under load. That trust is earned. Pressure will try to rush you, try to push you into reaction. You resist that. You move deliberately. This calm under pressure becomes your signature. People notice it. They feel it. Leadership is often silent. Pressure trains silence. You no longer explain yourself during difficulty. You execute. You conserve energy. You focus on what matters. This chapter is intense because growth is intense. There is no way around it, but there is a way through, and you are walking it. Keep going. Don't stop. Hold the weight. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are training. This struggle is not evidence of limitation. It is evidence of expansion. Your capacity is increasing. Pressure is shaping you into someone reliable under strain. That is rare, and rarity creates influence. You do not fear responsibility anymore. You welcome it because you know what pressure means. It means you are trusted with more, and you will carry it. Steady, focused, undeniable. You are built for this, and what comes next will require it. Chapter 8: Leading Without Needing Credit. There is a quieter form of leadership that changes everything. No spotlight, no announcement, no demand to be seen. It moves beneath the surface, and it lasts. You are stepping into that form now. Breathe. True leadership does not ask for attention. It attracts trust. When you no longer need credit, your focus sharpens. Energy stops leaking outward. Intent turns inward. Silence returns here. But this silence is different. It is not restraint. It is command. You enter spaces without explaining yourself. You observe before acting. You listen longer than you speak. People feel it. Before you say a word, something is clear. You are steady. You are present. You are not performing. Presence is leadership before language. Most people talk to prove value. They explain to justify position. They speak quickly to secure relevance. You do none of that. You allow your consistency to speak first. Day after day, action after action, standard after standard. Leadership is built in patterns, not moments. Anyone can lead loudly once. Few can lead quietly every day. You are learning to be one of the few. Silence becomes authority when it is backed by reliability. You don't interrupt. You don't rush to dominate conversation. You don't compete for attention. You remain composed. This composure creates gravity. Others begin to look to you without realizing why. Not because you asked, because you are centered. Leadership does not need volume. It needs stability. You earn respect the slow way, the real way, by showing up, by doing what you say, by holding your standard even when no one is watching. You don't chase respect. You earn it daily. This chapter strips away the hunger for recognition, not by force, by replacement. You replace the need to be seen with the need to be solid. That shift changes how you move. You don't explain your decisions unnecessarily. You don't seek agreement before acting. You don't need applause to continue. Your confidence is quiet, and that quiet confidence is unmistakable. Think about the leaders who truly impacted you. They didn't beg for attention. They didn't talk constantly. They didn't seek validation. They were consistent. They were calm. They were present. You are adopting that posture now. Calm authority does not announce itself. It reveals itself over time. You speak when it matters, and when you do, people listen. Because your words are rare and aligned. Silence gives weight to language. This is a skill and a discipline. There will be moments when your ego wants recognition, when effort goes unnoticed, when contribution is assumed rather than acknowledged. Those moments are tests, not of leadership skill, of leadership maturity. You pass the test by staying steady. You do not withdraw effort. You do not grow bitter. You do not change direction. You continue. This is where many fail. They lead well until they feel overlooked. Then they disengage. You don't. You understand something deeper now. Leadership is not about being seen. It is about being trusted. Trust is built through repetition, through reliability, through emotional consistency. You don't fluctuate wildly. You don't react impulsively. You don't let mood dictate behavior. People feel safe around that. They may not say it, but they sense it. Silence sharpens your awareness. You notice dynamics others miss. You read the room without commentary. You sense tension before it escalates. This awareness allows you to act precisely, not dramatically. Precisely. You choose the right moment, the right words, the right action. Leadership becomes less about expression and more about timing. This restraint is power. You are no longer driven by the need to be right, or to be first, or to be praised. You are driven by effectiveness. What moves things forward? What stabilizes the situation? What aligns with long-term direction? These questions guide you now. Respect grows quietly around people who think this way. You don't force influence. You accumulate it. Consistency is your currency. You do the work even when credit goes elsewhere. You support outcomes even when your role is invisible. This does not make you small. It makes you formidable, because you are no longer dependent on external validation. You lead because it is who you are, not because you want recognition. This internal alignment removes pressure. You are not trying to impress. You are not trying to dominate. You are simply executing at a high standard. That is rare, and rarity creates authority. People begin to notice patterns. They notice you remain calm when others react. They notice you stay focused when others scatter. They notice you remain consistent when others fluctuate. These patterns speak louder than words. You are leading without saying you are leading. This is influence at its purest. Silence again plays a role. You don't correct every misunderstanding. You don't clarify every assumption. You allow results to speak. You trust time. Time reveals truth better than explanation ever could. This patience separates you further. Others rush to claim credit. You stay grounded in process. Others compete for visibility. You invest in stability. Over time, something shifts. When decisions need to be made, people look to you. When pressure rises, your presence steadies the space. When uncertainty appears, your calm provides direction. You didn't demand this position. You earned it daily. This is the relief phase. You no longer carry the burden of being noticed. You no longer feel the urge to announce your value. You know your value, and that knowledge is enough. Empower this approach. Let silence be strategic. Let consistency be visible. Let calm be your signature. You are not passive. You are deliberate. You choose when to speak. You choose when to act. You choose when to wait. That choice is authority. There will be moments when others take credit for work you contributed to. Let it pass. Leadership is not diminished by invisibility. It is strengthened by it, because those who matter notice patterns, not claim. You are playing a longer game, a deeper one. You are building a reputation that does not need defense. That reputation is built on trust. Trust in your steadiness, trust in your judgment, trust in your integrity. This trust becomes influence. Influence becomes leadership, and leadership becomes impact. Without noise, without force, without ego, you don't chase respect. You earn it daily, through preparation, through presence, through principle. Say that internally. Earn it daily. This mindset keeps you sharp, keeps you grounded, keeps you improving. You never arrive. You maintain. Maintenance is leadership. You continue to show up, to do the work, to uphold the standard, even when no one is watching. Especially then. Silence surrounds you now, but it is not empty. It is full of credibility. People feel your strength before you speak. They sense your clarity before you act. This is the kind of leadership that cannot be faked. It is built slowly, quietly, intentionally. You are becoming known without trying to be known. This is power without performance, and it changes how others respond to you. They listen more closely. They trust more readily. They follow more naturally, not because you demanded it, because you deserved it. This chapter marks another shift. You are no longer proving yourself. You are embodying yourself. The spotlight, GHT, is optional now. The work is not. You remain focused on what matters, and that focus will carry you into deeper responsibility. What comes next will require this kind of leadership. Calm, grounded, unseen by many, felt by all. You are ready for it. Chapter 9, Mastery Through Repetition. Mastery is not dramatic. It is deliberate. It is not built in moments of intensity. It is built in moments of return. Again, again, again. This is where repetition becomes sacred. Breathe. You have been conditioned to chase novelty, new strategy, new inspiration, new beginnings. But greatness is not new. It is familiar. It is the same actions performed with commitment, day after day, long after excitement fades. Repetition is where power compounds. Small actions, simple actions, repeated without negotiation. This is how unstoppable force is created. Calm begins the cycle. You settle into routine. You show up without drama. You do what needs to be done. No rush, no resistance. Then pressure arrives. Fatigue, boredom, doubt. The mind asks why you are still doing this. The ego asks where the reward is. This is expected. Pressure reveals whether repetition is discipline or habit. You do not flinch. Command follows. Stand up, focus, execute. Not because you feel inspired, because this is who you are now. Relief comes after action. Not relief because the work is over. Relief because alignment is restored. You did what you said you would do. That relief reinforces identity. Then the cycle repeats. Calm, pressure, command, relief. Again, this rhythm becomes internal, automatic, reliable. You no longer rely on willpower. You rely on systems. Repetition removes decision-making. It reduces friction. It preserves energy. You don't debate whether to act. You act. This is mastery. Think about how strength is built physically. The same movement, the same form, repeated under load. The body adapts. The same is true for character. Every repeated action trains your nervous system, trains your focus, trains your response to discomfort. You are not just doing the work. The work is shaping you. Again, again, again. At first, repetition feels monotonous. The mind resists it, craves variety. Stay steady. Monotony is the gateway to depth. When actions become familiar, attention sharpens. You notice details. You refine technique. You improve efficiency. This is where amateurs quit. They confuse boredom with stagnation. You know better. Repetition is progress without noise. Each small action compounds. 1 day of discipline means little. 30 days changes posture. 90 days changes identity. Time magnifies repetition. This is the force most underestimate. You are not rushing outcomes anymore. You are stacking days. Each completed cycle strengthens the next. Calm becomes deeper. Pressure becomes manageable. Commands become sharper. Relief becomes quieter. This is maturity. You no longer need emotional highs to continue. You no longer fear emotional lows. You operate above mood. This separates you further. Others depend on how they feel. You depend on what you do. That reliability becomes your advantage. Repetition builds trust with yourself. Every time you follow through, confidence grows. Not loud confidence. Stable confidence. You trust your word. You trust your process. This trust is unshakable. Again, pressure tests repetition differently over time. Early pressure is resistance. Later pressure is responsibility. As your capacity grows, the weight increases. You notice it. More is expected of you now. More complexity, more demand. Repetition prepares you for this. You are not overwhelmed because you have patterns. You return to basics. Posture, breath, focus, action. Again, repetition grounds you when uncertainty rises. When the path feels unclear, you do the next right action. When motivation dips, you rely on routine. When doubt appears, you execute anyway. This is how momentum survives chaos. You do not need to see the whole staircase. You need to take the next step. Repeatedly, calm yourself. Pressure builds. Command yourself. Relief follows. Again, this rhythm becomes your anchor. Others look for breakthroughs. You build foundations. Breakthroughs happen when foundations are ready. Repetition ensures readiness. This is how greatness is built quietly. You begin to notice how others start and stop. Burst forward, fall back, restart. You continue, not faster, not louder, consistently. Consistency outpaces intensity over time. You are proof of that. Repetition also humbles you. There is no finish line, no final arrival. There is maintenance. Showing up when it's ordinary, when it's repetitive, when it's unseen. That humility keeps ego in check. Ego wants recognition. Repetition wants results. You choose results. Again, small improvements accumulate. Tiny adjustments refine performance. You become better without noticing the exact moment it happened. Others notice first. You feel steadier, sharper, more capable. This is compounding in action. Repetition trains patience. You stop expecting immediate feedback. You trust delayed reward. This patience reduces anxiety. You are no longer asking, "Is this working?" every day. You know it is. Because repetition works. It always has. Pressure no longer surprises you. You anticipate it. When it arrives, you nod internally. Here we go again. Command follows naturally. You don't dramatize effort. You normalize it. This normalization removes fear. Nothing feels overwhelming when it is familiar. You have been here before. Again, repetition also creates resilience. Miss one day, you return the next. You don't spiral. You don't quit. You resume. This ability to return matters more than perfection. Greatness is not built by never failing. It is built by never stopping the cycle. Calm, pressure, command, relief. Again, you become someone who finishes what they start. Someone who does not abandon progress due to emotion. Someone who stays. This staying power is rare, and rarity creates strength. You are not chasing mastery. You are practicing it daily, quietly, intentionally. Repetition transforms effort into identity. You are no longer trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You are no longer trying to be focused. You are focused. This shift is subtle, but permanent. You feel it now. A steadiness that does not depend on excitement. A confidence that does not need reassurance. This is mastery emerging. Again, the cycle continues. Some days feel light. Some days feel heavy. You treat them the same. You show up. You do the work. You complete the cycle. Again, this consistency creates momentum that cannot be stopped. Even setbacks become part of repetition. Recovery becomes routine. Adjustment becomes habit. You adapt without drama. This adaptability is advanced skill. Repetition teaches you to listen to yourself without indulging yourself. You know when to push. You know when to adjust. That balance comes from experience. Experience comes from repetition. Again, your world begins to respond to this steadiness. Opportunities align. Challenges increase. Responsibility grows. This is not coincidence. This is preparation meeting demand. Repetition prepared you. You are not scrambling. You are ready. This chapter is long because mastery takes time. There is no shortcut here, and you no longer want one. Shortcuts break under pressure. Foundations hold. You built foundations. Again, you have learned something important. Greatness is not a moment you arrive at. It is a rhythm you live in. Calm, pressure, command, relief. Again, again, again. This rhythm carries you forward when motivation disappears. It keeps you moving when outcomes delay. It anchors you when identity is tested. This is how greatness is built. Not loudly, not quickly, relentlessly. You are no longer wondering, you can do this. You are doing it, day after day. And the force you are building now will not stop easily, because repetition made it real. And you are still moving. Again, Chapter 10, the moment you do quit. This is the moment, not the beginning, not the planning stage, not the warm-up. This is the point where everything tightens. Pressure is no longer theoretical. Fatigue is no longer distant. The weight is real. And most people stop here. You feel it. The quiet voice that says slow down. The subtle pull toward comfort. The rational explanation forming in your mind. You've done enough. You can pause. You can come back later. This is the moment that decides everything. Breathe. Your body is tired. Your mind is stretched. Your patience is thin. Good. This is where identity is tested. Not when it's easy. Not when motivation is high. But here, when continuing costs something. You have arrived at the edge most never cross. This is not failure territory. This is threshold territory. Stand up. Not physically. Internally. Stand in your decision. Focus. Narrow your attention. Everything unnecessary falls away now. This is not about the entire journey. This is about the next step. One more action. One more decision. One more moment of discipline. This is the moment you don't quit. Most people quit quietly. They don't announce it. They don't collapse dramatically. They slowly disengage. They stop pushing. They lower standards. They justify retreat. You recognize this pattern now. You've lived it before. Not anymore. This pressure is intense because it matters. You are close to something important. Close enough that quitting would hurt more than continuing. Your old self would retreat here. Explain it away. Call it timing. Call it balance. Your new self does something different. You stay. You don't rush. You don't panic. You don't dramatize. You endure. Short lines now. Clear commands. Stand up. Focus. Move. Your excuses are gone. There is no negotiation left. This is not about comfort. This is about character. You don't need to feel strong to be strong. You need to act aligned. Pressure peaks here. The mind throws everything at you. Doubt, distraction, fatigue. You acknowledge them. And you keep going. Don't stop. Hold the line. This is where most stop because they mistake discomfort for danger. But this is not danger. This is growth under load. Your body adapts. Your mind adjusts. Your capacity expands. You are stronger than you think. Not because of emotion. Because of repetition. You have been training for this moment. Silence, solitude, discipline, identity, pressure, consistency. All of it led here. This is the exam. Not graded by others. graded by you. Do you stay or do you retreat? There is no judgment here, only consequence. If you quit now, you reinforce the old pattern. If you stay, something locks in permanently. You feel it. This is not just about this task. This is about every future challenge. Your nervous system is learning what happens when things get hard. Do you abandon yourself, or do you endure? Stand up. Focus. You rise now, not above others, above your old limits. Your breath steadies. Your posture aligns. Your attention sharpens. The noise fades. This is what clarity feels like under pressure. You are not rushing. You are not forcing. You are steady. This steadiness under strain is rare, and rarity creates power. The moment stretches. Time slows. This is where self-respect is forged, not in success, in endurance. You are proving something to yourself, not that you can win, that you can stay. Stay present. Stay disciplined. Stay aligned. This ability will change everything, because life does not reward potential. It rewards follow-through, and follow-through is built here. You may feel alone in this moment. That is normal. Most growth moments are solitary. No applause, no witnesses, just you and the decision. You decide to stay. Don't stop, even when progress feels invisible, even when effort feels heavy, especially then. This is the separation point. On one side, those who stopped. On the other, those who continued. You step forward, not dramatically, deliberately. One more repetition, one more focused action. Again, the pressure shifts, not because it disappears, but because you adjust to it. Your capacity increases. What felt unbearable moments ago becomes manageable. This is adaptation in real time. You are expanding. Your identity responds. This is who I am. Someone who endures. Someone who does not quit under pressure. Someone who finishes. That identity settles. Deep. Permanent. This is the transformation peak. The moment you look back later and realize this was it. Not the celebration. Not the recognition. This moment, when quitting was reasonable. And you didn't. Your future self is built here. Not in motivation. In resolve. You don't need encouragement now. You need alignment. And you have it. Stand firm. Focus again. Mind may still protest. Let it. You don't argue with it. You act anyway. This is mastery. Action without debate. This is leadership. Self-command under pressure. Others may never see this moment. That does not matter. You see it. And you will remember it. Every time something gets hard in the future, this memory will surface. I stayed. I endured. I didn't quit. That memory becomes strength. The relief comes slowly, not because the work is over, but because you are no longer fighting yourself. Resistance drops. Flow returns. You move forward with less friction. This is the reward of endurance, not ease. Alignment. You are exactly where you need to be. You did not take the easy exit. You took the meaningful path. This choice echoes forward, into future pressure, into future responsibility, into future leadership, because leaders are not defined by how they start. They are defined by how they stay. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay present. Don't stop. Even now, as the intensity begins to level, you remain alert. You don't relax too early. You don't drift. You maintain form. This is another lesson. Endurance is not just surviving pressure. It is staying sharp afterward. You finish strong. You complete the cycle. Calm follows. Not exhaustion. Not collapse. Calm. A deep grounded calm. You feel solid. Not euphoric. Certain. This certainty is earned. It does not leave easily. Say it now. Internally. Clearly. I endure. Not as a statement of suffering. As a statement of strength. You endure because you are built for this. Because you trained for this. Because you chose this. This chapter ends not with celebration, but with momentum. You are still moving. And because you didn't quit here, what comes next will be different. Lighter in some ways, heavier in others. But you will carry it, because now you know something undeniable. When it mattered most, you stayed. Chapter 11, Becoming Unrecognizable. There is a moment that arrives quietly. No announcement, no dramatic reveal, no sudden transformation. Just a pause. You look back, and you barely recognize who you were. Not with judgment, not with regret, with distance. Breathe. The habits that once controlled you feel unfamiliar now. The reactions that once felt automatic no longer appear. The doubts that once demanded attention have lost their voice. This is not because you fought them. It is because you outgrew them. Change did not happen overnight. It happened through repetition, through endurance, through standards held when no one was watching. You didn't force a new version of yourself into existence. You became. That distinction matters. For a long time, growth felt intentional. You had to think about it, focus on it, remind yourself of it. Now it feels natural. Your default responses have changed. Your baseline has shifted. You notice it in small moments. How you wake up, how you move through the day, how you respond when plans change. You are calmer, clearer, more decisive. This is not an act. It is alignment. Old habits fall away without effort when they no longer serve the person you don't crave what once distracted you. You don't react the way you once did. You don't negotiate with standards you once struggled to maintain. Not because you are stronger, because you are different. Relief washes in, not relief from pressure, relief from internal conflict. You are no longer arguing with yourself. The inner resistance that once drained energy has softened. Decisions feel simpler. Actions feel cleaner. You trust yourself now. That trust settles deep. Not excitement, not hype. Confidence, quiet, grounded, stable. Confidence that does not need validation. You do not need to prove who you are becoming. You live it. This is what real change feels like. Not dramatic, not loud, consistent. You remember how it used to feel to start and stop, to promise and break promises, to feel inspired one day and lost the next. That cycle feels distant now. You broke it, not with force, with commitment. You showed up on days when motivation was absent. You stayed when quitting was reasonable. You chose identity over comfort. Those choices compounded. Now you see the result. Your environment may not have fully caught up yet. Others may still see you through an old lens. That does not matter. You know, and knowing is enough. You walk differently now. Not faster, not louder, more certain. Certainty changes posture. It changes tone. It changes presence. People feel it. They may not be able to explain it, but they notice. You no longer chase approval. You no longer seek reassurance. You no longer need to explain your direction. You are grounded. This grounding is the result of alignment between thought, action, and identity. The person you are now behaves differently because they see the world differently. Challenges no longer feel personal. Pressure no longer feels threatening. Uncertainty no longer creates panic. You have been here before. Not this exact moment, but this intensity. You handled it. That memory lives in you now. It changes how you approach the next challenge. You don't rush. You don't freeze. You assess. You act. This is maturity. You did not become unrecognizable by abandoning who you were. You became unrecognizable by refining it. The core remained. The noise fell away. Old habits didn't disappear because you hated them. They disappeared because they no longer matched your identity. That is the cleanest form of change. No force, no shame, just evolution. You feel lighter now, not because responsibility disappeared, because resistance did. You are no longer fighting your own standards. You are living them. This is the relief phase, the exhale after sustained effort. Not collapse, not restlessness, integration. Everything you practiced has settled into behavior. Silence, discipline, endurance, leadership. They are no longer practices. They are traits. This is where many people think growth ends. It does not. This is where it stabilizes. Stability allows expansion. Now you can carry more without strain, lead more without effort, hold pressure without tension. Because your internal structure is strong, you are no longer fragile. You no longer depend on perfect conditions. You depend on yourself. That dependency is not fear-based. It is trust-based. You trust your response. You trust your process. You trust your ability to adapt. This trust frees energy. Energy that used to be spent worrying, explaining, second-guessing. Now it is available for creation, for impact, for leadership. You are no longer trying to become someone. You are becoming someone continuously. That difference matters. Becoming implies movement without anxiety, without deadline, without comparison. You are not racing anyone. You are building yourself. This pace suits you. It is sustainable. You think back to earlier chapters of your life, moments when you felt uncertain, reactive, scattered. You don't judge that version of yourself. You respect it. That version took the first step. That version stayed long enough to change. Without them, you would not be here. Honor that, then release it. You are not going back. Your standards have changed. What you tolerate has changed. What you prioritize has changed. What you expect from yourself has changed. Expectation is calm now, not anxious. You don't pressure yourself with unrealistic urgency. You move with deliberate consistency. This is mastery maturing into wisdom. You no longer need constant reminders. You don't need dramatic motivation. You have rhythm, calm, pressure, command, relief. You move through it naturally now. Again, the difference is, you no longer question the cycle. You trust it. You know that pressure will come, and you know you will handle it. That knowledge is peace. Deep, unshakable. Others may still chase sudden change, still look for breakthroughs, still hope for overnight transformation. You understand something different. Real change is cumulative, and you have lived it. Your confidence does not spike and crash. It holds steady. You are not perfect. You are reliable. Reliability is power. You begin to imagine who you are now, not in fantasy, in reality. Someone who follows through, someone who stays present under pressure, someone who leads quietly, someone who can be trusted with responsibility. That image is not aspirational. It is accurate, and it continues to evolve, because becoming does not stop. You are still becoming. The difference now is how you approach the future. You do not fear it. You prepare for it. Preparation is calm, measured, intentional. You invest in yourself without urgency, without panic. You know progress compounds. You have seen it. This awareness changes ambition. Ambition becomes grounded. You want more, but you are not desperate for it. You move toward it steadily. This steadiness protects you from burnout, from comparison, from distraction. You are aligned. That alignment creates momentum without friction. You don't force outcomes. You build conditions. Those conditions produce results over time. You trust time now, not passively, strategically. You know that what you repeat becomes who you are, and you repeat what aligns. Old habits fall away because there is no room for them. Your life is fuller now, not busier, clearer. Your schedule reflects your values. Your actions reflect your standard. This congruence is rare, and it is noticeable. People respond differently to you now. They listen more closely. They test boundaries less. They sense certainty. You don't assert authority. You embody it. That embodiment came from endurance, from moments when quitting was easier, from days when progress was invisible, from seasons of repetition. Those seasons changed you. Now you carry that change quietly. You don't need to announce growth. You demonstrate it. You don't explain discipline. You live it. You don't describe leadership. You practice it. This chapter is called Becoming Unrecognizable for a reason. Not because you erased yourself, but because you refined yourself so completely that old patterns no longer fit. You have shed layers that no longer served you. What remains is essential, strong, focused, present. You feel gratitude, not the kind that overflows emotionally, the kind that grounds. Gratitude for the process, for the difficulty, for the moments that tested you. They shaped you. You would not remove them even if you could, because they gave you this steadiness, this clarity, this confidence. Imagine who you are now, not as an idea, as a reality, someone who stays, someone who endures, someone who adapts. Now imagine who you are still becoming, not with pressure, with curiosity. What happens when you continue this pattern for another year, another 5? You already know the answer, because you have seen it work. You are no longer guessing. You are building. The future does not intimidate you anymore. It invites you, because you trust the person you are bringing into it. You don't need to rush into the next phase. You allow integration. This calm integration is powerful. It ensures that growth sticks. You are no longer unrecognizable to yourself. You recognize yourself clearly now, and that recognition is grounding. You stand on solid internal ground. Whatever comes next, you will meet it as this version of yourself. Steady, clear, prepared. The old self feels distant now, not because you rejected it, because you moved beyond it. This is not the end of the journey. It is a stabilization point, a moment of awareness. You see who you have become, and you accept it fully, without doubt, without apology. The path forward continues, not with urgency, with confidence, and you walk it as someone new, someone unrecognizable to who you were, and fully aligned with who you are becoming. The next step waits, and you are ready to take it. Chapter 12, Power That Lasts. This is the final ascent, not a climb fueled by urgency, not a push driven by need, a rise defined by certainty. Breathe. Power no longer feels distant to you. It no longer feels external. It is not something you reach for. It is something you stand in. You chase power once. Approval, momentum, validation. That chase taught you effort, but it did not teach you stability. Now power feels different. Calmer, heavier, quieter. Power that lasts does not rush. It does not prove. It does not beg to be seen. It simply is. You feel it in how you move through your days. Your pace has changed, not slower, intentional. You no longer rush decisions out of fear of missing something. You decide when clarity is present, and clarity comes quickly now. You speak less, not because you have nothing to say, because words are no longer your primary tool. Presence is. When you enter a space, you do not scan for reaction. You do not adjust to fit energy. You stabilize it. This is leadership. Leadership that does not perform. Leadership that holds. You have learned something fundamental. Power is not intensity. It is consistency. It is not dominance. It is direction. It is not control over others. It is command of self. This command is no longer forced. It is natural. You do not wake up trying to be disciplined. You wake up disciplined. You do not motivate yourself to be focused. You are focused. The behaviors that once required effort now feel automatic. This is stabilization. The transformation is no longer fragile. It does not depend on perfect conditions. It does not collapse under pressure. It holds. Power that lasts is built slowly, then carried effortlessly. You are carrying it now. Notice how challenges feel different. They still appear. They still demand response, but they no longer shake you. You don't personalize difficulty. You don't dramatize resistance. You assess. You decide. You act. This efficiency is not coldness. It is clarity. You have learned to separate emotion from action without suppressing either. You feel fully, and you lead anyway. This balance is rare. Courage is no longer something you summon. It is embedded. You do not ask if you can handle what comes next. You assume you can, not recklessly, responsibly, because history has proven it. You have stayed. You have endured. You have adapted. Your confidence is earned. That confidence does not spike. It does not crash. It remains. Power that lasts is quiet because it does not need reinforcement. You don't seek reminders of who you are. Your actions remind you. Every day, leadership has merged with identity. You do not turn it on and off. You live it. You lead in how you listen, in how you respond, in how you hold standards without forcing them on others. People feel safe around you and challenged. That combination is powerful. You are not finished, but you are established. There is a difference. Finished implies an end. Established implies a foundation. You have built the foundation. Now, everything you add stands on solid ground. This chapter is about permanence, not permanence in outcome, permanence in character. Your values are stable. Your standards are clear. Your direction is set. You may refine methods. You may evolve strategy, but who you are does not waver. This stability changes ambition. You still want more, but you no longer want it urgently. Urgency has been replaced by patience. Patience that does not wait passively. Patience that works steadily. This patience protects power. You no longer burn energy proving yourself. You invest it building impact. Impact does not need noise. It needs alignment. You are aligned. Your mind, body, and intent move together now. There is less friction inside you, less internal debate, less second-guessing. This internal peace is not softness. It is efficiency. You do not waste energy arguing with yourself. You decide faster because you trust your judgment. Trust did not appear suddenly. It was built through consistency. Every promise kept, every moment endured, every standard upheld. That history is inside you. You carry it into every decision. This is power that lasts. It is not dependent on mood. It is not dependent on praise. It is not dependent on conditions. It is dependent on alignment. and alignment is stable. You move differently now. Your movements are economical, your gestures intentional, your attention precise. You do not overextend. You do not overexplain. You conserve energy for what matters. This conservation allows longevity. Power that lasts must be sustainable. You understand that now. You no longer sprint emotionally and collapse mentally. You pace yourself. This pacing is not hesitation. It is wisdom. Wisdom earned through experience. You have seen what burnout looks like. You have felt the cost of inconsistency. You chose a different path. That choice shaped you. Leadership, courage, and calm certainty have merged. They are no longer separate traits. They are one posture. You lead calmly. You face difficulty courageously. You remain certain without arrogance. This combination changes how others respond to you. They trust your direction. They sense your steadiness. They feel your resolve. You do not force influence. You generate it. Because people follow clarity. And you are clear. Silence still plays a role. But no, it is not just restraint. It is confidence. You are comfortable letting others speak. Comfortable letting others lead in moments. You do not need to dominate to remain powerful. Power that lasts is not threatened by shared space. It expands through it. You support without losing authority. You collaborate without shrinking presence. This flexibility is strength. You are not rigid. You are grounded. Grounded people do not need to defend themselves constantly. They let actions speak, and your actions are consistent. This consistency creates reputation, not the kind built on image, the kind built on reliability. When things matter, you are there. When pressure rises, you hold steady. When decisions must be made, you decide. That reputation follows you quietly. You do not advertise it. You don't need to. Power that lasts travels ahead of you. It shapes expectations before you arrive. This is the relief phase of mastery. Not relief because responsibility ends. Relief because you trust yourself with it. You no longer feel burdened by leadership. You feel capable of it. Capability removes anxiety. Anxiety fades when preparation meets demand. You prepared. Now you apply. There will be new challenges ahead. Different pressures, larger responsibilities. They do not intimidate you. They interest you because you know how growth works. You have lived the cycle. Calm, pressure, command, relief. You move through it fluidly now. Again and again. This fluency is mastery. Power that lasts does not peak. It levels. It becomes part of the landscape. You are no longer chasing moments of greatness. You are living a standard. That standard influences everything you touch. Your work carries weight. Your words carry intention. Your presence carries stability. You are not finished refining yourself, but you are no longer fragile. You are established. This means setbacks no longer threaten identity. They inform strategy. You adjust without losing confidence. You correct without self-attack. This self-respect is foundational. You treat yourself like someone worth leading. Because you are. Say it internally. I lead, not as a title, as a function. You lead your time, your attention, your energy. You lead your responses, your commitments, your direction. Others may follow, or they may not. That is secondary. Primary leadership is internal, and you have it. This internal leadership creates external impact naturally. You are not chasing legacy. You are building one quietly, through consistency, through integrity, through presence. Legacy is the result of sustained behavior over time. You understand that now. Power that lasts is not flashy. It is dependable. You can be depended on. That is rare, and rarity creates value. You feel a sense of calm completion now, not an ending, a settling. The work you did internally has integrated. You no longer think about discipline constantly. You live it. You no longer rehearse courage. You act with it. You no longer manage your mind aggressively. You lead it naturally. This is the stabilization of transformation. The shift from effort to embodiment. You embody strength. Quietly, the world may never fully understand how you arrived here. They will see the outcome, not the process. That is fine. You did not build this for explanation. You built this for longevity. Longevity requires restraint, requires patience, requires humility. You have practiced all three. Now they support you. You are not finished, but you are established. From here, growth looks different, less dramatic, more impactful. You will take on challenges that require this level of steadiness. challenges that would have overwhelmed your former self. You are ready, not because you feel invincible, because you feel capable. Capability is realistic confidence. It knows limits and respects them. It prepares accordingly. You no longer test yourself recklessly. You build capacity deliberately. This keeps power intact. You are no longer rushing toward a finish line. You are expanding a foundation. This expansion allows for greater responsibility without collapse. You can hold more now, more complexity, more pressure, more influence. Because you built strength slowly, you understand something most never learn. Power that lasts is maintained daily, through small decisions, through consistent behavior, through honest self-leadership. You do not become complacent. You remain attentive. Attention protects power. You stay aware of your habits, your language, your standards, not obsessively, respectfully. You respect what you built. You protect it. This protection is not fear-based. It is value-based. You value your clarity, your steadiness, your integrity. You do not sacrifice them for short-term gain. That restraint keeps power clean. Clean power does not corrupt. It stabilizes. You feel gratitude again, not emotional overflow. Grounded appreciation. Appreciation for the process, for the difficulty, for the discipline. They shaped you into someone who can lead without losing themselves. This is important. Many gain power and lose identity. You did the opposite. You built identity first. Then power followed. And now power stays. You no longer ask who you are becoming. You know you are becoming someone who leads consistently, who adapts intelligently, who endures without hardening, who influences without forcing, who holds authority without ego. This is rare, and it is needed. You may not always see the impact immediately. That does not trouble you. You trust time. You trust compounding. You trust your patterns. Power that lasts trusts process. You move forward with confidence that does not rush. You are patient with growth, patient with others, patient with outcomes. This patience makes you effective. You choose long-term alignment over short-term reaction. This choice repeats again, again, again. This is how power remains intact. The final ascent is not upward movement. It is internal settling. You have arrived at yourself. And from this place, everything you build has stability. You are not finished. You are established. Let that land. You do not need a climax here. You do not need a grand ending. This is not an ending. This is a continuation led by clarity. You will face future challenges with this posture, future pressure with this steadiness, future leadership with this calm certainty. And when moments test you again, as they will, you will return to what you know. Posture, breath, decision. You will lead. Say it now. I lead. Not loudly, not dramatically, clearly. That clarity is your power, and it will last. Final conclusion, 300 words. You did not rush. You did not beg. You built, quietly, relentlessly. You chose the silent path when others chose noise. You chose discipline when others chose comfort. Look at you now, calm, focused, unshakable. This power doesn't fade. It doesn't depend on applause. It doesn't need permission. It lives in how you think, how you move, how you decide. You are becoming the person who leads without asking, who stands without explaining, who wins without boasting. This is not the end. This is your foundation. Carry this into every room, every decision, every challenge. And when doubt whispers, you already know the answer. Stand up, focus, choose again. Listener affirmations. I am ready. I rise. I decide who I become. Now go and walk your path. You made it to the end. That already says something about you. Most people stop early. You stayed. If this audiobook challenged you, if it sharpened your focus, if it reminded you of who you're becoming, then don't let this be a one-time moment. This channel exists for people who choose growth, discipline over comfort, clarity over noise, progress over excuses. If you want more audiobooks like this, more mindset training, more leadership, more inner strength, subscribe, like this video so it reaches the people who need it, and share it with someone who's ready to rise but hasn't found the words yet. Stay consistent, protect your mind, and keep moving forward. This is only the beginning.